All right, everybody, welcome back to Breaking Chainz Academy. We got a special guest here today, brother by the name of Cory Butler-Bryd, who was a former D1 football athlete from Utah. Also is in a position now. He's running for trustee or a board of trustees seat for the community college.
Mhm.
Amazing things, and I'm gonna give you guys a chance to get to know him, ask him some questions, and grow and learn.
Yes, sir.
First question is, brother Cory. I was going to ask you. Can you tell me a little bit about about you and about like your upbringing and stuff like that, like how you got to where you got to?
Um, so so growing up, I grew up in South Central LA, and I was, the normal typical project baby, just running around finding really anything to do. But most of the stuff that we found entertaining was basically juvenile delinquent acts.
Mm-hmm.
But to us, it was fun, like stuff like knocking on people's doors and running and that type of stuff. Growing up as kids, that's how, I developed my athleticism because that's the type of stuff we was doing on an everyday basis. And football was introduced to me by my uncle. He introduced me to football, and from there, just being good at something left like a warm feeling in my heart. So that's what really pushed me to start playing football.
Exactly.
And I ran into a lot of barriers, especially going through high school and middle school. So I stopped playing football actually my eighth grade year. I stopped playing football and I got back to doing the typical juvenile delinquent acts, just getting in trouble at school, not really doing nothing with my life. And then I ran back into one of my old Pop Warner coaches, and he was coaching at West Adams High School. So that's how I started back playing football again. But by then, as you know, life don't wait on nobody. And I didn't, by me messing up my ninth through 11th grade years, I really didn't have the grades to go to a D1 college. So I had to take the secondary route, which was the JUCO route. And I went to LA Harbor and ran into all type of barriers in junior college. My first year, my coach had me taking classes that wasn't eligible for a D1 scholarship. So all my first year,
I know that
yeah, my whole first year of college, bro, it was just a complete waste.
exactly.
And my second year, I actually got a scholarship to go to Utah University. That was my first one. And within like 2 weeks, I ended up getting 16 offers. So, but at the same time, my grades wasn't up to par.
He was balling at Harvard.
Yeah, I was up there balling. Hey, and it's crazy because we went 0-20. We
Damn.
went 0-20, but I was balling though.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I finished my first year. I got my offers, but my second year I had to do 2 college years in one. So I had to take 22 or more units a semester in order to get to Utah.
Yeah.
And by me doing that, you can only take 16 units at one specific college. So
Exactly.
I had to go to 4 different colleges so I could get all of them credits.
To
But I did it.
have your did they make well, I'm assuming because I coach also at the NCAA level now, and I'm assuming you
Okay.
have to have your AA, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Facts.
the track is like if you go to JUCO and if you're not enrolled full time taking the academic core units to go to the NCAA, more than likely, in order for you to participate in NCAA, you gotta have your AA in at least 60 units, and a certain
Yeah.
GPA, and a certain GPA, and it's different between
Exactly.
D1 and D2, but in this case, it's a little more strict in D1 because it's a higher standard and stuff like that. But yeah,
Yeah. I mean, they started off when I was there. It was a 2 point. I think it was like a 2.5, but
2.5.
now they moved it up to like a 2.7.
Yeah, yeah. I think
Yeah, they gonna keep moving it up,
two is
but
2.2 right now. 2.2 and have your AA, unless you're in those certain.
yeah, that's facts.
Yeah, and they call it the in California they call it the golden four. You pass your math, oral language, uh, English, and some.
English.
Yeah, all those things you got to have those before you transfer, unless your school got like a special exempt where they can like get you in. They call it like special admission or something.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's cool.
yeah, but they
Well, go ahead.
I was actually, yeah, I was catching a bus to all 4 of them schools, and I had to do everything I had to do to finish, but it was worth it at the end of the day. I actually slid past with 1D because Utah accept Ds.
Exactly.
So I had that 1D, and yeah, I was still able to get in.
Yeah.
But once I got up there, it was just a whole different atmosphere, a whole different feeling.
Yeah, especially being in Utah,
And then,
you coming from the hood, from South Central, and then you go into
man,
Utah. It's way different out there. It's way
nah,
it's a culture shock.
it's a big difference because a lot of people don't understand, bro. Utah is 95% white,
Yeah,
and then it's 3% Samoan, 1% black, and 1% other.
yeah,
So it's like once I went on my trip up there, we went into the dang, what was it? The Chipotle. So we walk into Chipotle. It's about 5 recruits, and then we got 2 high school football coaches that was African American. So once we walk in there, bro, I'm telling you, like you know how in the movies, like when you
yeah,
walk in a segregated spot and they just looking like what are you doing up in here?
exactly.
Man, it was that entire field, and I'm like, wow, like you're gonna be up here for the next 2 years.
That's how I feel.
Might as well get used to it.
I used to coach in Arkansas, right? And I had moved from LA when I just had graduated from CSUN. I moved to Arkansas to go coach. And out there it's literally like you go, it's so country out there and it's like literally black and white.
Yeah,
And we used to out here, like in the communities we live in, it's mostly Mexicans and blacks. That's all you see all the time. But if you go everywhere like outside of Hollywood, it's everything, right? But there's
yeah,
literally
facts.
black and white. So it's like, culture shock. But you learn like some of the people are hella friendly and good hospitality and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, it ain't never all of them, but you know they be
Shop,
having they selected few.
exactly. I was going to ask you because when I was listening to what you were saying, you said you went through like barriers, and this is important for like
Mhm.
listeners and young kids, and they listen about those barriers, and the way like how we approach them and go through them. The way I kind of look at it, growing up and now looking back, those are things we had sometimes had the most fun doing, but understanding like
Facts.
it's almost like a cultural thing. It's the thing we always think is normal. Like even like in general, right? I don't know about you, but like I grew up on welfare all my life. Like literally, we always
Mhm.
got food stamps, and that was one of
Yeah,
the best days when we get the food stamps came. We going to food
man.
banks or food flex or whatever.
The paper was though. Look, they know about the EBT. They don't know about the
Yeah,
paper stamps
exactly
though.
that part exactly. So like the way we live and stuff is just completely different. And the only time we really felt like that it was different was like maybe if we went to a friend's house that maybe went to school with us and they family lived different. Like
Oh yeah,
they was able to go on trips and do
yeah,
stuff we couldn't do. You feel me? Um, but
yeah. Facts.
so like what do you think? Why do you think that like during this like when you ran into trouble, why do you think you went to that and like what do you think could have like helped you overcome not going that way?
Well, see, I was staying at my aunt's house.
Yeah,
So when I was going through high school and the junior college process, I was staying at my aunt's. So yeah, just how you speak, bro. We grow up and we actually live in poverty life. A lot of people don't understand how like difficult that is to live in poverty life and still be able to make like conscious decisions. Like most of the time we make our decisions,
that part.
it's survival decisions because we feel like we got to do this in order to get this. So when I was going through the junior college process, I actually was one of those dudes that picked up drugs to try to sell, or one of those dudes that actually lost my consciousness and snapped because I didn't know how to actually deal with what was going on.
Do you think
So I felt like the stuff.
you think you made that decision because that's
Go
what
ahead.
you seen? You think you made those decisions to like do things or like even sell drugs at a certain point because that's what you seen in your environment? Like that's how people was making it. That's how the
That's
best people
facts.
was making it. Yeah, yeah,
That's facts. That's. I mean, like us as black people, like that's our go through methods. So once we growing up, like any human being, when you're growing up, you look at the way that your parents or the people, your guardians, you look at the way they handle situations. So if we growing up and all we seen is okay, when it's bad times, Unc go grab this, or when it's bad times, Pops go grab that. So once you by yourself and you a 17-year-old kid and you feel like, okay, I gotta do this, I gotta get that. So I'm finna do it how I was like not taught, but how I seen it growing up.
exactly.
And that's how a lot of us make those one-time idiot decisions because it was so much pressure from life, and we really just didn't know how to deal with it.
Exactly. I think like now, I think like how like because you closer to my age. I'm 28. I think what you're 25, 26.
Oh yeah, I'm 25. Yep.
Yeah. So like I think back then, you know, a lot of our even like parents and uncles and aunties and stuff, you know, they even felt susceptible to drug usage and stuff like that. You feel me? And
Yeah, facts.
now it's a little different. You know, it's still people doing drug stuff, but they are some of our people was on crack. Like it was literally they
Yeah,
broke down. They literally broke down the neighborhoods. It was no
yeah,
guidance
facts.
from when you was in kindergarten. You in survival mode. How I'm gonna eat,
Yeah,
how I'm gonna sleep, where I'm gonna stay at. How do I protect myself from people coming at me? Stuff like that.
facts.
And now it's different. You know, we both of us as black fathers, and
Hmm.
now I think it's more fathers that's trying to be involved in their kids' life and able to provide that guidance. But we kind of want to. I'm thinking of bringing a culture of like making that making that role important. You know what I mean? Like really being.
Oh, it is.
It is,
It
yeah,
is because the thing about it is you only know what you taught. So
exactly.
it's like you can't even really put it on the generation before us because they really didn't know too much. Like it's systematically built for us not to know the things that we need to really prosper in life. Because if we grew up knowing that on an everyday basis and being able to make like intelligent decisions, then us as a race gonna take over. Like off the rip, we're gonna take over because everything we do it better than any other race. So
Exactly.
it's like if
And
they just give
that's
us
why
the
it was
answers.
implemented.
Exactly. If
That's
they
why it was
just
like
give it to us, bro, I mean, we ain't gonna be we gonna take over, and that's why they create things like food stamps, things like Section 8 and stuff like that, to where we don't have to learn nothing new. We could just go ahead and get that handout and be able to live because we actually learned those type of different strategies to make money and different strategies to
that.
actually prosper ourselves, bro. It's gonna be over.
Over.
So that's why that role is hella important because, you know what I'm saying, the child learned from the parent. So if the parent ain't teaching, you know what I'm saying, the right things, how you expect that child to go into life and just automatically know it?
Yeah, exactly. And then if you ever go to like one thing that was like culture shock to me is like going to Atlanta, Georgia, and you see all these
Oh
black
yeah.
prosperous. They out there like you got lawyers,
Yeah.
doctors, everybody like you feel like you can be
Yeah.
somebody because you see the people in your community. Don't get me wrong, they still got hoods and bad stuff going on, but they also have
Oh yeah, for
great. You know
sure.
what I mean? They have the great.
Exactly.
And anytime the thing is like throughout history, anytime something good is going on, something systematically comes and try to attack it. And but that's
Oh
why
yeah, that's right.
Mhm. And that's why it's good. Like now, you know, you're in a position and you're running for something to try to make change. And I hope you are like I guess like a poster or like the staple of like, you know, you can do it. And also we need us to come in and make this change. Cause ain't nobody
Right.
that
I
don't
mean, the
control
thing
our children,
about it,
you know?
the thing about that, bro, is like I feel it, and that's what kind of pushed me to really take this path because like once I didn't make it to the NFL, I could have just went and found my six-figure job, used my degree, and you know what I'm saying, went on about my life. But I actually seen like the type of power and influence I had over the kids and the next generation. And it's like they look up to me and they see me as that person. But at the same time, when it's only one person in the hood or two people in the hood that's trying to do something to create some type of change, it's hard because you got the whole hood being the negative factor. So it's like the kids look at us, they see us and be like, "Ooh, I want to be like that. That's tight." But at the same time, bro, once I leave, now you got a whole another group of people that's coming on a whole different type of mentality, and the kids gonna rock with that because the majority always win.
So how do you think that how do you think we can change the culture now? How can we change the culture to help like, you know, young kids that grew up like us? What do you think, like from your perspective, we can go out and just try to do to like make a difference?
Honestly, I feel like the programs. I feel like we do have a lot of programs around Los Angeles,
Mm.
but we need to have more programs that's actually within the communities. That's actually like, most programs that's within the community, they might throw a block party,
Yeah.
right? And have like different little black vendors and stuff like that, which is fine. but that's an hour. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's an hour, 2 hours out of the day. So once they leave that event, they finna go right back to the block and be around the gangbangers. But I feel like we need, in each community, we need programs with actual Black members, you know what I'm saying, from the community in the program, so that we can actually turn our communities into villages. So that's actually why I started my program, Village 17, because that was my vision. If we don't have no village, if it's not 100 men out there talking to these kids, then that one voice is gonna get outshined by the darkness. So
Exactly.
it's like we need to have actual real programs inside of our communities. And that's the only way we really gonna be able to hold these kids. Cause I mean, they'll pay attention for a couple hours, but I mean, once they go back, go home or go wherever they gonna go, bro, kind of go out the next year.
Yeah, that's real. I mean, that's essentially what we're doing, and we're at the like we're at the like I guess like the root of it or like the beginning of it, and trying to expand.
Oh yeah, that's facts.
Going and then try to do that because like that's the reason why I thought about all this stuff too because I knew how I grew up, but I also knew like I work with foster youth in the summer at a certain organization, and I
Okay.
remember I had this little kid. He probably like 15 now, but like I had this kid. He was like 12 at the time, and he was like I talked to him and I was getting through him. It was like he understood, but he knew
Yeah.
like when he go back home, he from A Trey. Like he was like I know he was like I know I don't want to do this, but my cousins, my uncles, they from this. And then now,
I
like
mean,
I still know the little kid. I still know the kid, but like it's almost like
yeah.
he like 15, 16 now. And I'll be seeing him online. I'm like, bro, be drinking lean, smoking weed, having money, and doing all this stuff. And he only
See,
15.
and that's the
But it's
that's
just
the
me.
thing,
Like
bro.
we
It's
need a
like
village, you know?
that's facts because the thing about it is, bro, like he said, my people's around me is doing this.
Yeah.
So I have like the majority win. Like you one person, I'm around them a lot more. So imagine if we had the people around you that's actually teaching something positive, then you ain't gonna have no choice but to, you know what I'm saying, go towards the positive route. But I mean, it's hard right now. We are at the roots of it because I feel like more Black fathers is actually stepping up,
Exactly.
whether or not they are actually, you know what I'm saying, walking a path of positivity. They still on their kids enough to where they can, you know what I'm saying, don't do what I do. Don't be like me. You could be different. So I feel like that's the start. But to really make it take off, we really gotta have people, successful people. It can't just be anybody.
Yeah.
It gotta be successful people coming back, because if I'm just a regular person, bro, and I'm telling you, oh, do this and you'll
I
make a
think you
million
want to
dollars, you're gonna be like, well, why you ain't doing it? Yeah,
exactly, you know?
exactly. So I mean the right people will have like a lot more impact and influence if they actually came back with some positivity, be like, hey man, I grew up right here. I left, I went and got this, and now I'm coming back showing y'all, trying to teach y'all ways to get it. I mean, that's the real jewel right there. I mean, we get people to come back, bro. That's
Yeah,
that's where it's at.
we need them NFL players. Them we need the DeMar DeRozans. I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
I know DeMar DeRozan already comes back, but it's just like he need to bring other people with him and like like different
yeah.
people
But the
that got Go ahead.
the thing about it though is it's not just coming back, and I had to learn that like through my journey, because I'm like, if I would have made it to the NFL, I'd have had my little money. I mean, I would have put my little center over there. I'd have came back every now and then, did a little camp, and been gone. But that's nowhere near enough. Like, we need them to actually come back. I'm not saying come back and be back like Nip, but
I
you
was
need
just
to
about to
come
bring
back
it
and
up. I'm like,
actually,
yeah,
yeah, on me. I mean, you ain't gotta be, you know what I'm saying, all in the hood like that, but you do have to come back and actually create a blueprint, so that when you gone, you got people in power that's still making your movement happen while you gone. So that way, you know what I'm saying, the kids is really gonna grasp for that. But I mean, if you just come for one day, they're gonna take your little signature, throw that shit in the trash on me, be right back on the block later.
exactly. That's real. All right. Cool. So now I'll get it more into like what you're doing now. Um, I was going to ask you. So if you get elected into this position in the seat,
Uh-huh.
what do you think? What are your plans? Like what's most important to you right now? Like trying to work with them, like with that group.
So my main agenda is to really empower the students and empower the teachers. So I feel like if we created more mentoring and relationship type bonds between the teachers and the students,
Mhm.
then that would stop the downfall at the end of the semester. So when you go to college in the beginning of the semester, everybody fighting for classes, right? Then towards the middle, towards the end, a lot of people get to hitting them barriers and they fall off. They start checking out. Now you only got about 20 people in your class. And I feel like a big reason for that is because these kids is actually going through stuff by themselves. And they come to school, it's hard. They go home, it's hard. So it's like they shut down. And it's like if you had a teacher or a mentor or something like that you could go to that's on campus, or a whole program to where y'all moving like a family, then that would keep a lot more students in school.
Or like a specific program for those at-risk students that's coming to community college, knowing like the
Exactly.
you know what I mean, versus just like, all right, you graduate high school, we'll let you in, and it's like, if you drop out, you drop out. That's the important. What
Yeah.
you said is super important, because I always tell my athletes now, I said the first thing when you start school, go meet your teacher. Now it's different because it's COVID and everything online, but you still got to write that
Yeah.
email, set up a Zoom meeting, let them see your face.
Oh,
That
nah.
relationship is
That's the
always brought
truth.
you back. Yeah.
That's the truth, because no lie, like I failed probably, like I wasn't the brightest kid in school. Like I failed probably half my college courses. But just by me having a bond and just by me going to class every day and doing all my work, it
That,
was no problem for the teacher to, okay, you failed the final, but I know you know this, I know you know that, you did your work, you applied effort. So here, I'm gonna give you a C because I see you trying to do something better.
exactly.
Like I didn't have that happen a million times, but they're not gonna do that if you don't know them. Like they're not gonna do that if they don't know you.
Exactly.
So it's like you gotta show your face and you gotta, you know what I'm saying, meet that teacher. And later, I didn't wrote notes, like, you know what I'm saying? I didn't wrote letters to teachers, like, I need this, stop playing.
Yeah, that's real. That's good. Yeah, that's important. Anything else that
Um, Another thing is outreach. So I don't know how it was. Like I'm pretty sure it was even worse. But I know when I was going through school, I didn't know about junior college. Like I thought it was just, you know what I'm saying, D1, USC, UCLA, or that was it. Like, in high school, that's the stigma. Like if you're not going D1, you might as well stop playing football.
yeah,
And that's not really the case. You know what I'm saying? If we would have had more people actually coming to us and explaining to us like, okay, you got a second opportunity, you could go to a junior college and transfer to a Division 1. Even if you don't play sports, you could go to a junior college and transfer to a Division 1 college if you don't, you know what I'm saying, have the money to pay for it. Like that's a free way to get a full ride scholarship to a prestigious college. But part of the issue is the people that's on the board now don't understand how much every cent of that $1 billion actually count.
mhm,
So I'm gonna give you an example. They use our nonprofit G Code and a couple others. They bring us all in for a meeting and tried to get intel on how to get more African Americans in the junior college system and apply for college. So we tell them, y'all got to do this, y'all got to do that, y'all got to attack the athletes, y'all got to send somebody that's more relatable. I mean, if you send a white person to speak to a whole classroom that's majority 95% African American, for one, they're not going to pay attention just off the rip because we don't relate to another culture like that.
mhm,
So then on top of that, he finna talk about college. Once you speak about college, that's another non-relatable issue. So if you got undisciplined kids sitting in a classroom talking about college to a dude that they can't even relate to, that they'll probably just walk past if they seen on the street,
that's real.
then you're not gonna get that many kids in there. I know when I was in high school, we went to college meetings just so we didn't have to be in class. Like we didn't really care about actually trying to get the information, but that's because it wasn't nobody that was actually grasping our attention. So I know they took all of that information and gave $4 million to a nonprofit that's outside of the city and told them to do the outreach to try to get more African American kids into the apply for college. And I'm like, bro, we just sat here and told y'all what y'all need to do, and then y'all take all the information and the money and give it to somebody else that has no clue on how to relate to African American people. So it's like stuff like that needs to change. And it's like that because these people don't understand like how hard it is for a kid to grasp the vision of actually going to college and he coming from the hood. They don't understand that. They think, you know what I'm saying, just because they kids, you could just go, oh, give them the information and they go apply themselves. No. Like we are different, a different culture. We come from different type of barriers. So it's like you have to send people that's relatable to us. And me and my partner actually took it upon ourselves to create College Game Day, where we go to we went to Centennial, Jefferson, we went to Manual, different little inner city high schools and spoke about college. And we got over 150 kids signed up for college in like I think it was 4 weeks. Yeah, it was like a month and a half. And I'm like, bro, we have the answers. Y'all just don't want to use it and y'all wasting money.
Damn, that's crazy to think about. Yeah, that's the real deal. Like,
yeah, bro, it's bad.
You have the answer. Like, do y'all really want to make change, or do y'all just want to continue the same thing?
But see, that's the thing. That's the thing. That's why we got to get people like me on the board, because to them, it's a job. You know what I'm saying? They wake up, throw their suit and tie on, and they going to try to achieve a goal. Like for us, this is like actually real life. Like I'm finna go in here and really try to figure out how to get our kids into the college system. Yeah, exactly. It's a chip on our shoulder once we actually stepping up for these type of roles. And I have the understanding that politics, as far as in America, getting up there to presidential and, you know what I'm saying, all the top ranks that actually have power over laws and stuff like that, they not gonna let us in if we not on their agenda. Exactly. That's just being realistic. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, isn't that like when it comes to like presidential stuff or the higher up elected officials and stuff, a lot of that is backed by money. So normally the stuff they cater to is the people that's putting the most money into them. You know, if it ain't
exactly.
I don't think we had a president or a lot of people who like literally care about changing this because that's their personal agenda.
Oh nah, it's a business. It's money. It's a business at the end of the day. So y'all going about a personal, a human problem, but you know what I'm saying, using a business agenda, and that's not gonna work because money is not gonna help. If you're not applying it to the right situations, if you're not applying it to the right strategies, you basically just throwing money at the situation and ain't nothing gonna change. And that's what they've been doing for years. Like they had a whole program called what is it? I think it's Safe Passage or something like that. That's for African Americans. We could get free books, free transportation. We could get emergency grants. They gave us free computers, and we get class registration, so class priority registration. So that means like anytime I sign up for a class and I got class priority registration, they can't remove me from that class. I'm automatically in there no matter if it's full or not. So having access to stuff like that, yeah, they put it on campus, but they never not once told nobody was there. So the whole time I was in junior college at the time, going through everything that I was going through, and they got all the help right here, like right on campus, and I had no clue that it was there. And it wasn't like I wasn't asking. I was in counselor's office on an everyday basis, but it was just, I don't know, they just wasn't putting it out there. And I feel like stuff like that is made for us, but they are the ones that created it, and they don't understand how much we need it, so it's not pushed out in a way that it's supposed to be.
I know exactly what you're saying, and that's super important. I mean, that's why it's important people listen to this, because maybe like from you saying this, I didn't even know that, and
bro, it's crazy.
They gotta see it and be like, oh, they actually got this. Let me go check. It's a lot of things. Like I did an interview a couple weeks ago with one of my homies that's in the military, and he was telling me like just about like buying like homes and stuff like that. And I didn't even know like if you're a first time buyer, your interest is like super low to where you probably you probably only need like 7K to put down on the house, and you can get the with your first house you can get the loan versus like some people assume like you need 20% of the house or something like that.
That's what you think.
Yeah, or if you're in the military, you don't even have to pay that down payment. I knew that already, but you don't even have to pay that down payment. You can just get the home loan and start paying your mortgage.
Oh, that's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff with like military, like nobody, a lot of people, we in our neighborhoods, they don't think about going in the military and stuff like that. But it's
Yeah.
actually, some of the benefits is outstanding, man. It can set
Oh
your
yeah.
life to where like you live in something you never lived before and you get a head start. You just got to go through. You already going through war already, so you might as well go get.
Yeah, that's facts.
You feel me? You might as well
That
get.
is facts. I didn't seen a lot of them come home.
Yeah.
And they actually they come home to a whole different type of lifestyle. I'm not coming home back to mama house. Like,
Exactly.
I got my own house, my own car. Mama probably got a car. So yeah, and the name of that program it's a promise program.
It's called the Promise Program.
So if anybody attending LA Junior College, any LACCD college, for the first year, you got to be a first time college student, and you can receive access to the Promise program. So they basically get free books. It's free books, free tuition, free transportation. You get emergency grants, and on top of that, you get class priority registration. So I mean, I know just that alone to take.
Only, right?
Yeah. As long as you first time college student. I mean, even if you've been out of college out of high school for 2 or 3 years,
Mm-hmm.
if you never enrolled in a class, then you're considered a first time college student.
Yeah, cool. That's good, man. Thanks for that info.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
most definitely.
yeah. I'll wrap it up. And then thank you for coming on, bro. And another thing too,
Oh yeah, no problem, bro.
I was going to tell you, like if you ever doing anything, like what you're saying you're doing, you got my information. I'll come out if I got the time. I do work full time at Kappa Pomona, but like anytime, like you do, just hit me up, like, hey, bro, we about to do this. I'll show up if I can.
Oh yeah,
that's what I'm about. What I mean?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Yeah, you in the city. I know you're in the city now, so we definitely gonna link up.
All right, bro. Well, yeah, I appreciate you, man. Have a good rest of your Saturday, man, and take care. And I'll see you.
All right, you too, bro.
Got you.
All right, bet. Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.